So recently I did a video and somebody asked if I can do a part 2. Many are called, few are chosen. But in this video, we are going to do it different. I'm going to be breaking down a few things that will help you understand if you are really chosen. You are a really chosen one, okay? You didn't just wake up one day and you chose a certain path to help the collective, do different things in your community, for society, and you chose yourself. Now, when you are called, it means you have had your own, everybody has got their own difficult moments in life. But if you have had pretty much easier life, you was just born, normal family, of course you had your own challenges here and there. But pretty much everything was normal. The father was there, mother was there, no much abuse going on, nothing much dysfunctional. Maybe you had a little bit of difficult parents, but somewhere, somehow, along your journey, something triggered you to answer a particular calling. And you stepped up. You said, okay, I'm going to help people. There is something you wanted to contribute to community, to society, to the collective. So you chose a path, okay? It doesn't necessarily mean that you're a real chosen one. You answered a certain calling that you felt in your soul and you took that direction. But for the real chosen ones, this video is going to be directly for you. Chosen ones, you have been battling ancient warfare. You've been battling ancient warfare. It has been happening for decades. Many of you have been fighting this battle for hundreds of years. You kept on reincarnating here, and you felt like the world was always pushing against you. Okay, you didn't understand what was happening. You was fighting something that only you could understand, but many people around you couldn't figure out. Like I've said, the battle you've been fighting is ancient in nature. You see, one of the things you need to understand, chosen ones, these demons have been hunting you down for a very long time. In past lives, you went through life, did certain things, whatever it is you had to do, you was fighting these battles, then you checked out. And the same demons continue to manifest in other lifetimes. And they have been tracking your soul. They have been tracking down your frequency. And usually the warfare starts in a family. So as soon as they identify that this is the family that you're born, they will go to work. Now, the battle you've been battling, the battles you've been fighting throughout your life, like I've told you, they're ancient in nature. They are very ancient battles. They started many years ago, many decades ago. You just pretty much wasn't aware. So the whole intention was to keep you from remembering. Because you see, chosen one, you chose to stand with the light. Yes, you have been, every now and then had your moments and stuff. You've been brought down, you've been destroyed, you've been attacked. But whatever happened, you always chose the light. You chose to stand in the light. You chose to stand for the truth. And these demons, they hate your essence. They hate your energy. They hate your frequency. They hate your purpose. And they hate what you really stand for while you're here. Because you see, when there is light, darkness doesn't exist. So when you have truth inside of you, that truth, it irritates these demons. Your light irritates those demons. So they track you down, they start hunting you down, they do different things against you, towards you, they set you up for failure, they will send certain people to infect you with diseases, the honey traps. You guys know the honey traps. They will send narcissists your way. They will send these NPCs. Sometimes you might have been attacked with by warlocks, witchcraft. Some of you guys, people have tried to take you down. Maybe they try to poison you. Maybe they try to put you in mental institutions so that everybody will think you're crazy. They have done a lot of things to discredit you, just to make you, to keep you at that state, you know, in a very low frequency. Because you see, the higher you vibrate, the higher the chances and the possibility that you will remember who you are. And when you remember who you are, the game is over for these demons. So that has always been the background noise that has been happening behind the scenes. Now, in my videos, my job is to, my purpose is to make you remember, to help you remember. So I enlighten you about certain things. Then you start to connect the dots on your own. Things make sense and you're able to start moving in a certain direction. So part of the warfare that has been played against you and has been waged against you, like I've said, it started in your families. So your families rejected you. Your families used to gang up against you. Your families used to isolate you. Your families used to discredit you, abuse you, manipulate you. In some cases, it has been very, very serious while you was inside those families. So the warfare has also manifested in your families. Is what I've said, that if you're a chosen one and you have the most unbelievable experience you've had with family members, your parents, narcissistic parents, you know, parents that was involved with witchcraft, things that they have done, that is one of the confirmation you will know that you are really a chosen one. Because you are being tracked down spiritually. It manifests on the physical, but you're being tracked down spiritually. Is why sometimes you feel like you move from a family, maybe you grow up and you start school, the warfare continues in school. Now you have these kids in school, these, you know, the students, your fellow classmates and stuff like that. They always target you in different ways. They bully you, they tease you, they mock you, and they do all sorts of things. And then it was like, okay, you left school, you went on, maybe you started dating. Out of the blue, you ran into this narcissistic individual. And these narcissists, they continue the warfare. So is what I'm saying, the tracking, that's how the tracking happens. It stems in the family, it roots in the family. Is why most of the times in my videos, when we are breaking and cutting these cords, we cut these cords from the root. I've told you that there's a root which is stemmed in the family. The other things that you're dealing with, the people, situations and places, those are just the branches, okay? The stems and the branches. But the root has always been in the family. So the narcissist continues their game. You know, they play you, they manipulate you, they abuse you, they cheat on you, they gaslight you, they put you in a very terrible state. And maybe you went to work, and in your job place, you don't understand why your supervisor doesn't like you. You're a good guy, you're a good man, woman, whatever. You're doing your best. You even do extra sometimes. You might even sometimes be doing extra hours. You do your work perfectly well. And now you see the supervisor always there trying to put a lot of load on your desk, try to manipulate your files, the reports that you're making in work and stuff like that. And then eventually you see the ganging, people that try to gang up in your workplace, you know, something they call the workplace mobbing. They gang up and start attacking just one individual. And in some cases, they got you fired. In school, it was maybe sometimes the same situation happened, where you might have been fired from school, suspended from school, for whichever reason. Maybe it was rebellious in nature. Maybe you didn't want to do your homework. Maybe you didn't want to do your exams or something like that. You just felt like there was something off with school and you wasn't fitting in school. You even didn't want to be at school in the first place. That was me back in the days. Well, I wasn't suspended, but I know that when I was in school, for me, it was like punishment, just sitting down in school and listening to something I couldn't understand, a lot of things, what is making sense. So you struggled to fit in school, to really understand what was being taught in class. And sometimes you might have done a lot of mistakes and you could have been suspended. Many chosen ones have been suspended in school, you know. And it doesn't mean that they will never be successful, but you could be suspended, or you could have been suspended, but when you went out to create your own path and do your own thing, you still became successful one way or the other, you know. So you never really needed the degrees, you know. You didn't need all those diplomas and degrees. You didn't need that kind of validation because you found a way to validate yourself outside of school conditioning and routines. So um, the battles that you've been fighting as well, they can continue in many different ways, whereby you could have had people that were secretly, you know, this thing they do in secret. Demons work in the shadows. We all know that. Okay? They work in hiding. They don't want to be seen. That's the thing with demons. They don't want to be seen. They do things in shadows. So people could have gone and done readings on you. Maybe you had a parent, and that parent went and did readings on you. They went and contacted psychics. They went and contacted sorcerers, warlocks, and stuff like that. Maybe you was born in a family where you had parents that was involved in a group of some particular covens, and they did readings on you while you was young, so they knew and they saw your light, they saw your star from the beginning, and they stole that star from the beginning. So some parents could have also gotten involved in sacrificing you spiritually, you know. Maybe even sometimes they have attempted physically, but usually they could do it spiritually. So they used your star, they used your power, and they tried to destiny swap with you because they understand you have got great destiny. So they stole that destiny, they stole that star, they stole that power, they stole your shine to work for them while you were struggling. Okay, so most of the battles you've been fighting, it's not been a coincidence. Those are the background tracks I'm trying to let you know that have been happening behind the scenes if you're a real chosen one. Okay? A chosen one, a real one, part of the warfare that you've been battling is when you have demonic people that don't even like each other. A group of narcissists, a group of covens, a group of witches that try to gang up against you. Okay? They work in groups because for you to understand that you're powerful is when you have a team of people that are trying to selectively work together, each one with different missions, just to try to bring one person down. And they're going to do it in silence. They will not come around in your face. They're going to be tracking you behind the scenes to try to see what area of your life can they attack so that they can bring you down. And they're going to be working in teams. And when that mission is done, they're now going to start working against each other and battling and fighting amongst themselves. So when you have had certain moments in your life where you had people that grouped up in teams, people that you would even never expect, even some of your friends, even some of the people you didn't know, they just had to come together because they wanted to bring you down at every cost. So that was simple confirmation that they were scared and they was afraid of your power. Because you see, one of the things that these demons do, the intention is to prevent you from remembering. They have to keep you in a state of constant survival, okay? Fight or flight. You're struggling. You can't feed yourself. Many of you guys, you've been homeless. They try to send you out of your homes. They infiltrate your relationships. You get these kind of individuals who are coming and sometimes they want to be in a relationship with you. But on a closer look, you start to understand they have got nothing to offer. The only thing they have got to offer was abuse, manipulation, gaslighting, and cheating, and stuff like that. Anything they could do to keep you down low. You see, because if they can keep your frequency down, they will disconnect you from source, okay? And they will start attacking you spiritually, because if you can stay in that state of survival, fight or flight, you will never be able to remember your power and remember who you are, because I've told you, when you remember, it's game over for them. It's one of the reasons why most of the times when you have been awakened, the very first people that will run away from you is the people that have been tormenting you. Those demons are going to run very far away from you the moment you remember. The moment you awaken, they will know spiritually that you have awakened. You guys have been dating these narcissists, and you have seen the very moment you remembered and you awakened, because awakening is remembering. You awaken, you was triggered to awaken, you have noticed that the narcissist starts to give you some kind of a distance. They don't want to be close around you. They don't want to be next to you, because they feel you can actually see through them, and it's almost like you can catch up with their game. You know what they have been doing behind the scenes because you have awakened. So what they do, they retract and they, go back to regroup. And then eventually you're going to realize you are now in the midst of another intensive warfare. But this time is going to be more intensive, because they try to bring in reinforcements. They try to send in their most biggest, toughest soldiers. Oh, so that's when you will now start to go through the attacks directly from witches, the attacks directly from covens, the attacks directly from, psychopaths and some kind of higher ranking demons, okay? The warfare has always been happening. But you see, the difference is when you do wake up, you kind of understand how to navigate through the life and how to fight this battle better, okay? Before you didn't know because you was asleep. So it was happening behind the scenes. You was being attacked behind the scenes. You couldn't know what was going on. The suspensions from school, the bad relationships, the abuse, the bullying, the torture, the manipulation, the delays, the setbacks, and all that stuff. It has been happening behind the scenes. But when you do awaken, you're coming to the forefront, because you are now able to see exactly what you're dealing with, and you can fight better. So they kind of send in the higher ranking demons. I battled with the spiritual narcissists for a couple of months. I was very lucky to understand what was going on. And then I was able to remove myself. I was on my way as soon as I figured it out. And then eventually there was the warlocks later on, the witches and all that stuff, and all the covens and stuff like that. So they do understand and they do recognize that you're powerful. And because of this, they find a way to see what can they do to derail, maybe to delay your path, to delay your destiny. A lot of times you guys have been dealing with people that have been attempting to destiny swap with you. They see your greatness. They will never come around and really, they feel it that you have a lot of destiny. You have very big destiny. You are great. You are big. You're a very powerful person spiritually. And you may not necessarily be a person with a lot of muscles and everything, a lot of, all these big cars, riding in big cars, living in all these mansions and stuff, but you will be spiritually powerful. And these people, they know. And they need a part of that. They need a piece of the cake. But then, for them to be able to fully cloak themselves into your energy, they have got to destroy you first, because they need to break down your spiritual protection so that they can fully cloak into your energy. And that's how this whole thing works with destiny swapping. So when you have an individual who has been around you, a lot of you guys chosen ones, and you have this guy, man or woman, who are trying to do things like you, they imitate you, they copy you, they want to dress like you, they want to speak like you, they do the same things you do, you're actually dealing with the real destiny swapper, okay? So you need to take notes. When you see that kind of individual, keep them very far away from you, because they are trying to steal your destiny. So a real chosen one is an individual who has also experienced a lot of gangstalking, okay? You don't just simply run into people just out of the blue. The Matrix keeps on setting up these NPCs around you, just to see what you're doing, to keep an eye on you. They record you, they take photographs on you. There's sometimes when I was out there doing my own thing. A few times, that thing happened a lot of times. And I'm just sitting there, minding my own business. And then you see these NPCs, they are coming around and they're taking pictures of you. I don't understand how a stranger would just come and directly start taking pictures of you. And when you notice, they run off, that kind of harassment. So gang stalking, yes, is true. You will get out of gang stalking if you are a really chosen one. You have been gang stalked, because you see, at the end of the day, these demons, they are afraid. They are scared of your destiny. They are terrified of your power. So it's why they keep on hunting you down and doing everything they can do to delay you, because they are very afraid and scared of your power. They do not know what else to do the moment you remember your power and you awaken. So everything has been aimed towards you to stop and block your awakening, okay? Because the awakening means the end of these demons. The moment you awaken is the end for them. They cannot operate with the light. They need to operate in darkness. Now, when you are the light, is why you have always been targeted ever since you was a kid. So, throughout your life, chosen ones, you have to understand that you have always been hunted down by these people, by these entities, by these demons, because in the spiritual realm, like I've said, you're very powerful. You've got a very ancient soul. Many of you guys are old souls. You don't even know that. You're very old souls. You've been reincarnating again and again, and the battle has always been the same. It has just been fought in different scenarios, different generations. It could have appeared differently in various generations, because you see, as we kept on evolving, things kept on changing. The things we are doing now in this generation, they're not the same things people used to do 100 years ago, or maybe 200 years ago, and so on and so forth. But the battles have been similar. The attacks have been similar, but they've been manifesting depending on which generation you've been dealing with. So you have got a very ancient soul, is what I'm trying to say. Your soul is very ancient, and those demons recognize your soul. Okay? So you do not think that because you're dealing with these NPCs running after you, the warlocks doing readings on you, the witches and stuff like that, attacking you spiritually. Many of you guys even are attacked in your sleep. You go to sleep and you have these entities that wear certain faces and try to sleep with you. You know, sometimes you might wake up with a wet bed. Sometimes you might wake up and you don't know somebody was trying to sleep with you in the night. That is because they has been trying to harvest your energy. Because when they can harvest your energy, they continue to keep you in a lower state of frequency. They can still attack you while you sleep. Some of them, I've talked with some people personally, and they have seen these entities in the night. You know, they wake up. Sometimes some of them wake up with sleep paralysis. Some of them wake up and they see these entities sitting next to their bed in the night. You don't even know where these entities came from. It's like you see shadows around your house. You have been hunted because you have got a very ancient soul. First of all, your soul is very powerful because you carry and embody some light codes. Those light codes are recognized by those entities, okay? They understand that you carry some frequency. A chosen one is a person who carries those frequencies of truth. And those light codes are also powerful, that they can activate other people, okay? They can activate people, they can bring healing, okay? So when the demons are trying to cause chaos and sickness in some people, and you're the person that can bring healing to those people, then eventually you understand the reason as to why they'll keep on attacking you, because they are afraid of your frequency. They cannot operate. The darkness cannot operate where there's light. So when you're the person that is attacked the most, that means that you're the person that actually carries a lot of light in you, okay? So, as I've been saying, your soul is ancient. That is true. You have got a very ancient soul. And those demons recognize you. You see, when people look at you, sometimes you guys have seen people when you run into people, and maybe they've been coming your direction and you see them turning back. Maybe sometimes they do a U-turn, maybe sometimes they walk the other way, or sometimes they pretend they didn't see you. You've been seeing those things happening around you and you couldn't understand what it was. That is because they understand you on a spiritual level. When these entities that are operating behind these people, they are the ones that actually are able to observe and identify you. And when they can identify that light code, the frequency, the energy that you carry, that is exactly what they do not like. So it's why sometimes you see you walk into a room, there is people that have been talking, yapping around, screaming around. You know, the conversation has been kicking off. As soon as you showed up in the room, the whole room went silent. Or maybe sometimes you walk into a room and you see, there is everybody has been minding their own business. Maybe it was an event going on. You walked in, you saw sometimes all eyes turning around, and everybody's looking at you, staring at you, and stuff like that. Some people would even stop just to stare at you. It's because of your frequency, chosen ones. In the spiritual realm, you are recognized. They know and they understand your power. So those are some of the signs. Maybe sometimes you walk into some place or you come across a certain individual and that person doesn't know why they don't like you. They may sometimes even tell you directly, oh, I just don't like you. I don't know why you're here. You need to leave. Don't stay around here. You need to leave. Because they understand your energy. They know your frequency. They understand your power. So sometimes they send you away. They don't want to talk with you. You could be rejected sometimes. Maybe you want to date this girl. It's a very beautiful girl you saw. You try to approach the girl and the girl refused. She did not reject you as a person. She just simply rejected your frequency because she fully understands that you are on a different vibration. And when you guys get together, things may sometimes not work out properly, because that girl, whatever woman or man, something like that, they may be embodying certain spirits. And those spirits don't feel like they can be contained. They can be functional around your energy because your energy is very different. It's very unique and it's very powerful. So all you have to understand as a chosen one, you have got a very ancient soul. You have always felt different ever since you was a kid. You have always felt like something different about you. You couldn't put a finger to it. You don't understand why you struggle to fit in, why people tend to like doing certain activities, maybe engage in certain sports, maybe do certain things. You don't understand because some of the things don't even make sense to you. You wasn't a person who liked those, maybe at some point when you was growing up, you used to enjoy every now and then you go to crowds or parties, but you would feel the way you could get drained the moment you went into that event or party or something like that. You could get drained. Your energy just gets drained out of the blue. Or sometimes you have interactions with people and all of a sudden you feel like somebody has stolen your energy. You don't even know what has happened. You've always felt different. You've always felt like you were struggling to fit in. You wanted to do things that other people was doing because you wanted to fit into society. But at the end of the day, the more you try to fit in, try to force it, try to push it, the more it didn't work. You still notice there was always something different. You couldn't put a finger to it. That is because you have got a very ancient soul. And that soul terrifies demons, okay? A lot of people who work in the dark, these entities work in the dark like I've told you. It terrifies those demons because, again, darkness cannot operate where there's light. Sometimes you could have been gaslit. Maybe you went to your appointment at the doctor and the doctor told you you had some mental condition. You had a bipolar something or schizophrenic or autistic and stuff like that. All these are spiritual conditions, okay? Many of them are spiritual conditions. It has nothing to do with you having a problem and getting you institutionalized because you could be autistic and stuff like that. There is people that are very powerful in spirit and they have got a very powerful spirit. And their spirit is trying to manage how to maneuver life through this 3D. Sometimes you could be looking through the spiritual realm. You could be a person who has been born and you could see angels around, fairies and stuff like that. Entities that are not in this dimension. Entities that are currently operating on a different dimension. You could have been a person who had been seeing those things ever since you was a kid. So when you went for your appointments, maybe you thought there was a problem with you. Your parents took you somewhere at a meeting, at an appointment, and the doctor told you had a problem, a mental condition or something like that. It was never mental, ladies and gentlemen. You was just spiritually aligned and spiritually powerful, but because these people couldn't understand you, that is why they had to find a name for you, something that they could cling on to so that it could make them comfortable. You see what I mean? So that's pretty much what has been happening for the most part of your life, of your journey. So I'm very sure that many of you guys, you do resonate with this video. Let me know if some of the things I've mentioned have been your personal experiences in the comment section below. Please like, share, subscribe. You guys know I do love and appreciate your support. Please book a session if you want to. You may donate or support my channel if you want to. Everything you need, you'll find it in the description below. And until then, I will see you guys in my next one. Denzo Most signing out. Much love and blessings. Peace.